I'm Luke Summerhays, and I love Combee. In my home country of England, Queen Elizabeth II recently passed away. I'm no royalist, but even I have to acknowledge that it was an event of some historical significance. Elizabeth sat on the throne longer than any British monarch before her, and had the second longest reign of any monarch in world history. In Britain, it was a simple case of passing the throne to her heir, eldest son Charles. When a queen bee dies, however, the process of replacing her is a little more difficult. A worker bee larva is selected and fed, instead of the usual mix of honey and water, a special protein-rich substance called royal jelly. Though genetically identical to the workers, this breakfast of champions will cause the queen to develop differently, with ovaries for laying eggs and other small changes. Just as most Britons live a life far from the luxurious one of royalty, so most members of a beehive are not queens. The majority of bees are workers and drones, adventuring out to find nectar, building the iconic hexagonal honeycomb of the nest, or milling around waiting to mate. Combee is a bee of the proletariat. Its body is contained in 3 hexagons of honeycomb, each with a little face, but held aloft only by a single pair of wings. From the back of the bottom bee, a little tail pokes out behind. Pokemon Diamond describes it. A Pokemon formed by 3 others. It busily carries sweet floral honey to Vespiquen. Real-life bees construct elaborate nests of hundreds of these hexagonal compartments. In the anime, we even see dozens of Combee come together like Tetris blocks and form a wall. Pokemon Pearl tells us, it collects and delivers honey to its colony. At night, they cluster to form a beehive and sleep. While Heart Gold and Soul Silver tell us, at night, Combee sleep in a group of about 1,000, packed closely together in a lump. Of course, real bees are not actually able to fly around jammed into their honeycomb cells, certainly not carrying 2 other cells with little larvae in them, but it makes for a cute design overall. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Does Andy Remember Gen 4 Pokemon?
And does he have any thoughts about them if he does?
Combee! Or Combee, however you say it.
Yes, I remember Combee. Combee is a hexagonal Pokemon of sorts that allows you to think it's a bee. But there's also... Wait, do we have to talk about big forms as well?
You can talk about the big form if you have thoughts.
Because we didn't talk about Burmese big form, did we?
Do you care much about Burmese big form?
I just remember there's a bigger version of Burmese.
Yeah, and then there's a moth.
Yeah. I didn't know that, to be fair. See, there we go. That's the kind of insight you missed on last week's episode. As for Combee, you get 3 Combees that smash in... No, wait, is Combee always 3 bees?
Yeah.
Combee... Oh, okay. Combee's always 3 bees, and then it becomes Vespiquen, right?
Only a lady.
Oh, shit. What about man?
Just stays with Combee.
Oh, rip. That's sad, isn't it?
Yeah. That's...
What's the percentages like?
I think it's low. It's like 10% or something.
A bit of men bees?
Yeah. No.
Should there not be more men bees?
No. Yeah, no. Like 10% can become a Vespiquen.
Yeah. Oh, you'd be devastated if you... Well, no, you wouldn't be devastated. You'd have to accept the futility of life. Oh, no. No, thank you. I'll have a female one, thanks.
It's just bees, isn't it?
Yep, that's bees and my dating profile.
This week, Andy has taught us about the birds and the bees. The English name Combee obviously combines bee and comb, simple enough. The Japanese name is Mitsuhani, combining honey with Mitsubashi, the Japanese name for a honeybee. Mitsu is also the Japanese number when counting objects, so the whole Pokemon seems to be one big pun. This is supported by an interview with Ken Sugimori, in which he described being requested to design a Pokemon made of 3 honeycombs stuck together. The process of hatching a new queen bee in real life is a little complex, but it has been simplified in Pokemon. While the majority of real bees are female, with the males staying in the nest to mate, in Combee's case it is closer to the common misconception that all bees beside the queen are male. 87.5% of Combee are male, and these Pokemon can't evolve. The other 12.5% are female, and at level 21, they evolve into Vespiquen. Vespiquen has a regal figure, a nest forming the skirt of her dress, antennas like a crown, and a menacing face and claws. With the effort required to catch Combee by slathering honey on trees, and going through a number of them to find a female, when she finally evolves it is an impressive sight, and worth the wait. Pokemon Diamond describes her. Its abdomen is a honeycomb for grubs. It raises its grubs on honey collected by Combee. While Legends Arceus tells us, commands its subjects to build its hive. It will dispatch any interlopers who dare sneak into its nest and use them as nourishment for itself. Sinister. Although the bug type is a fairly weak one defensively, Combee is a bulky monster with some useful signature moves that let her command her swarms. Pokemon Pearl described it. When endangered, grubs from its 6-cell honeycomb strike back. There is only one in a colony. And Platinum tells us, it releases various pheromones to make the grubs in its body do its bidding while fighting foes. And finally Pokemon Sword tells us, it skillfully commands its grubs in battle with its enemies. The grubs are willing to risk their lives to defend Vespiquen. Those signature moves, Attack Order sees a number of bugs swoop in to deal damage on the Queen's behalf, while Defend Order ups her already impressive bulk. Heal Order, well, it does what it says on the tin, it heals. The English name, Vespiquen, combines the Latin for wasp with queen. The Japanese name, Bee Queen, combines the English for bee, bee, and the English for queen, queen. It probably sounds cooler to a Japanese person, maybe. Vespiquen has some standout moments in the game. In her very first appearance back in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, she appears on the team of Bug-type Elite Four member Aaron, and probably represents the first real challenge of that battle. In the Isle of Armor DLC for Pokemon Sword and Shield, a Dynamax Vespiquen falling from a giant-sized tree is a boss fight that must be fought to acquire Max Honey, needed to Gigantamax Urshifu. And for me personally, a Vespiquen was an MVP in my journey through Pokemon Legends Arceus. Alas, despite her intimidating design, unique moves, and fairly healthy stats, Vespiquen has never had major success on the competitive scene, simply because the bug type is pretty awful defensively, especially paired with flying. A 4-time weakness to Stealth Rock means the only time Vespiquen has been remotely viable has been in the 8th generation, wearing heavy-duty boots. Nonetheless, I reckon I'd put my money on a Vespiquen if it ever came to blows with old King Charles. Music for Luke Loves Pokemon is composed by Jonathan Cromie. Artwork for the show is by Katie Groves. Writing, producing, and editing is all by me, Luke Summerhays. And funding is provided by lovely listeners at patreon.com/podcastiopodcastius. I love it when you guys get in touch. Hit me up on Twitter or Facebook at LukeLovesPKMN and let me know your thoughts about our next monsters, Pachirisu and Buizel, or share your love for any Pokemon. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet release this week, so starting next week, or maybe the one after, look forward to bonus episodes about the Pokemon of the Paldea region. Also, join me Friday and Saturday nights from 8 PM UK time at twitch.tv/LukeLovesPKMN for my streams. I'll be doing other bits and bobs of streaming elsewhere, so keep an eye on the channel or the Twitter if you fancy a bit of that. And even if you don't feel like doing any of what I just said, thank you so much just for listening. I love Combee, and remember, I love you too.